Welcome to your weekly forecast. My name is Adina. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in these weekly videos, I go over the astrological energies for the week ahead. And in this video, we will be going over the energy for March 18th to the 24th, 2024. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. So this week is a really big week astrologically. We have something pretty big almost every day this week until we get to the weekend. But then we have the eclipse on Monday the 25th. So as we approach the weekend, we really start to feel that heaviness of the eclipse energy. However, coming into the week on Monday, we have Mercury entering pre-shadow and forming a conjunction to the North Node. So this is the week where we want to start to pay attention to the information we're receiving, the messages that we are receiving, the intuitive downloads we are receiving, and also the shift in mindset, because I really do believe that this Mercury retrograde in Aries is going to be a lot of self-reflection. We want to remember that Aries represents the self and initiation. There can be a new direction we are all taking in our lives based on some significant shift in our mindset throughout eclipse season and throughout April with this Mercury retrograde energy. And Mercury connecting to the North Node is making this energy very fated, very destined, and also very karmic. And because it is the North Node, it is something new, it is something unknown. So we want to start to pay attention because Mercury is going to connect to that North Node twice. Once through pre-shadow, and then Mercury is actually going to station direct on the North Node. And that is when there will be a final understanding of this new direction with this new shift in mindset that you're kind of working through over the next month and a half. We also want to keep in mind that all of this Aries energy is going to shift once we get to the end of the week, because we currently have Mars, the ruler of Aries, in Aquarius. On Friday, the 22nd, we're going to have Mars enter Pisces, which is going to shift that Aries energy up a little bit. So when we first have Mercury conjunct the North Node, it's going to feel a lot different than that Mercury station that is going to happen on April 25th when Mercury stations direct. So this initial conjunction between Mercury and the North Node can bring in this need for something different, something new, something innovative. It's part of that Aquarius, Uranus energy. Once Mars enters Pisces, this energy becomes a lot more I feel like this is a very emotional Mars, and we'll get into this later on in this forecast, but Mars really our motivation, willpower, drive, and how we take action. Being in a sign like Aquarius is bringing in this newness to the energy. We're wanting to take action in a new direction or with something new in our lives. We're wanting to shift and change things up in some way. Once Mars enters Pisces, the energy then becomes a lot more spiritual, a lot more intuitive, a lot more emotional. This is a very emotional Mars, and also adding to the karmic fated energy that we're kind of moving through and navigating, not just with the eclipses, but with all of the energy in Aries conjunct the North Node. So there's a lot in Aries, yes, but there's also a lot going on in Pisces, which is also making a lot of the energy that we're moving through over, right now and over the next month or so, very karmic, very fated. And where I've been talking a lot about how we're going through this major shift and change, ending karmic cycles and beginning new ones. And because we are also in eclipse season and we're having our lunar eclipse in Libra on the 25th, I've also been talking about how we're going through a lot around relationships and how we connect to people. And so I'm going to touch a little bit more on this as we kind of go through this forecast, but I just wanted to put that out there. But as far as this Mercury energy goes, we want to start paying attention this week to the information information we're receiving, the messages, our intuitive downloads, and our thoughts and our mindset, because there's going to be huge shifts taking place over the next month and a half. Now, once we get to Tuesday, Wednesday, on the 19th or 20th, depending on your time zone, we're going to have the sun enter Aries. So we begin a brand new zodiacal new year. This is our new year. This is essentially the real new year. This is when we want to set intentions and goals for the next 12 months. This is where we have the energy to support those intentions and goals, which, if you think about it, and I was kind of thinking about this, we all set intentions for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. But the real New Year's Eve and the real, beginning is actually once the sun hits that 0-degree point of Aries. And so we don't necessarily always have the supportive energy to set those intentions and follow through come January 1st, where now we do. Now we have the supportive energy to set intentions and follow through. This is a great time to do up a vision board, or, write affirmations or journal. Sometimes what I like to do is write down everything I want to accomplish for the year ahead. And I touch on it throughout the year. I go back and I check it off. Sometimes I find with me, but I'm Virgo rising, I find if I make myself lists, I tend to accomplish a lot more. So maybe it's something you can try, or do a vision board, everything you want to accomplish this year, put pictures and write notes and just do up a vision board. Now, again, we want to keep in mind that we're talking about this Mars energy. And so Mars is going to be in Aquarius, which is shifting initially the sun ingress into Aries, where we first have Mars in Aquarius. And then as we get to the end of the week, we have Mars entering Pisces. So that energy is going to shift. So for this week, having the sun in Aries and Mars in Aquarius, this is where we have that supportive energy to start implementing something new. So you may find, but the thing is too, is that even when you follow the trail, it all goes back to Pisces, because Mars is in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by, Saturn or Uranus. Saturn is in Pisces. Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is in Pisces. So no matter which way you swing it, we end back to this Pisces energy, again, making everything very fated and karmic and destined. So we're in this time of really just paying attention to your intuition and following that, paying attention to the signs, and I would even say too, paying attention to what you're feeling on a really deep level and following that. Now, once we get to the 21st, or actually, sorry, the 20th, I want to touch on this quick. Once we get to the 20th, we have the Mercury Chiron conjunction. Now, Mercury is going to form a conjunction to Chiron 3 times. Once through pre-shadow, then again through the retrograde period, and then again through post-shadow. And our solar eclipse we have in Aries is actually going to be conjunct Chiron exact. So again, this week, big Mercury energy, especially around healing and your healing journey. There can really be something coming in this week around the healing process that you've been moving through, or your healing journey, your healing story. There can be something really big coming in this week that you're going to revisit 2 more times. There's going to be a reflection period through the retrograde cycle, which is going to be early April. And then again, once we get to, I believe it's May, when Mercury will form a conjunction to Chiron again. And this is where there will be clarity, because usually how it works is through the Mercury retrograde is the pre-shadow is when we start to get an idea of what is showing up. And I'm going to be posting a Mercury retrograde forecast and also going into all 12 signs and touching on Canada. So I will have that up within the next 48 hours. But usually how it works is through the Mercury retrograde cycle is the pre-shadow period. We start to get an idea of how this Mercury retrograde is showing up for us and the changes Mercury is bringing in for us, and also what we're going to be kind of navigating for the next month and a half. So that's why we want to start to pay attention through this pre-shadow period. Mercury is going to station retrograde on April 1st, and so when Mercury stations retrograde, that is when something comes in, and through the entire retrograde period, we're reevaluating something in our lives, usually something that came up through the pre-shadow period. We're taking a new direction, we're revisiting something. And then through the post-shadow period, after Mercury stations, that is when we get better understandings and we have a better knowing of the direction that we want to move in. So with Mercury forming a conjunction to Chiron 3 times through this entire process, there's going to be a lot around healing and self-reflection. And that's why I say I really do think that this Mercury retrograde in Aries, there's going to be a lot of self-reflection and figuring out what you need on an individual level and how you want to connect to others, especially too because we're in eclipse season. There's a lot around relationships, and there's a lot coming up around owning your own stuff, but also your needs, your wants, and your desires. Like there's something shifting and changing here. Your personal values can be changing here, and just what you need on a soul level can really be changing, and even a better understanding of your whole mindset around relationships can be changing. Now, on the 21st is when we have the Venus-Saturn conjunction. And Venus and Saturn are going to form a conjunction at 12 degrees of Pisces. So this is really significant. Venus is exalted in Pisces. So this is a very passionate, romantic, compassionate Venus in Pisces. Now, Saturn can rule restriction and challenge, but I really look at this energy as beautiful, committed karmic partnerships coming together. And I made a TikTok about this. For those of you who don't follow me on TikTok, you make sure you do, because I usually post daily. But I really look at this Venus, Saturn, and also, the fact that we have the eclipse in Libra, which rules relationships. I feel like there's a lot of karmic partnerships coming together. There's a lot of karmic relationships forming right now. And it's not those karmic relationships that come into your life to trigger an awakening or healing. It's the karmic relationships that come together after they have both done the work. And there is beautiful commitments formed. And that is just what I feel with this Venus, Saturn, and Pisces energy. And so pay attention this week. There may be something coming together for you with this Venus, Saturn conjunction in Pisces. There also may be a better understanding of what you need, want, and desire, coinciding with all of this other energy. Also, as being an eclipse season, Venus being the ruler of the lunar eclipse that we are having. So there's a lot here around relationships, needs and wants in relationships, and there's a shift in that. There's something shifting. Saturn can also be making you become accountable for your part in relationships, where, maybe before in relationships, you focus so much on the other person. Well, this person needs to do this, and this person needs to change. And now it's like Saturn has us kind of looking in the mirror and taking accountability and responsibility for our part in relationships, and not always putting it on the other person, but saying, okay, well, what can I do to make this better? Or what can I do? What changes can I make within myself to make this relationship work? And this kind of falls into the changing of relationship dynamics, where yes, there's karmic connections coming together, but also karmic cycles ending and completing that are already within current partnerships, I believe is also playing out with this energy and part of the lunar eclipse in Libra and all the Pisces energy. It's like all this energy kind of coinciding. There's just so much relationship stuff right now. There's karmic partnerships coming together. There's ending karmic cycles, and then there's ending karmic cycles that have been playing out within your relationships for possibly lifetimes. Like there's karmic completions taking place with the self, and also with how you connect to other people, and the whole relationship dynamic. And then we get to the 22nd on Friday and we have Mars enter Pisces. So this shifts the energy because at this point we have the Sun in Aries, we have Mercury in Aries, and that is all being disposited by Mars. So this is going to shift the energy quite significantly. And this Mars is very spiritual, very intuitive, very emotional. So we want to be careful here with emotional reactions, but there can also be a lot of action being taken based on intuition. This is really a time to follow your gut, follow your intuition, and it's just really interesting how much karmic energy, I feel like I keep repeating myself, but I'm almost just blown away with the amount of karmic energy that is in the air right now. It's like we are entering a new time and we are all about to go through massive changes in significant ways. And it's really crazy. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But this is going to shift the energy because we want to remember that Mars rules our motivation, willpower, and drive. And being in an energy like Pisces, we're very mutable, can be very indecisive, where it can be difficult to make decisions. It can be difficult to know which direction you want to move in. And plus, we're going to have a Mars-Saturn conjunction in Pisces. And this is going to be, the beginning of April around that solar eclipse. So we're entering significant territory. We're entering some really big energies here, and we really want to be kind of paying attention to what is surfacing on an individual level, but also collectively. I think we're going to start to see a lot with the governments. I think we're going to see a lot around exposure within the governments and leaderships, leaders of the countries. I think there's gonna be some really big information revealed, I believe, over the next month through the Mercury retrograde, and also because of that eclipse. There's going to be a lot going on, but this is, I feel like, a big clearing. There's a big clearing taking place because of all this karmic energy and ending karmic cycles. We're going through this massive clearing so we can come out on the other side almost, I feel, pure. Like I'm intuitively feeling like it's so that we can come out on the other side pure, free from karmic attachments, which is really interesting. So where we can have a lot of difficult energy or challenges showing up, if we move through those challenges with the self-awareness and we move through the challenges consciously, we will come out on the other side cleansed, in a sense. And then on Saturday, Sunday, the 23rd and 24th, we really are just right before the lunar eclipse that we are having in Libra, which is going to take place on the 25th. So the weekend is going to be about sitting with everything that has kind of shown up throughout the week, sitting with that, and then something is going to come to a head with that lunar eclipse. And you will feel the buildup on that weekend. On the 23rd, 24th, we will start to feel the buildup to what that lunar eclipse is bringing. I mean, we're in the buildup now. We're feeling the heaviness. We're feeling what is going to be showing up with that lunar eclipse, but it does intensify. It becomes a lot more powerful once we get to the weekend and over the weekend. So I hope that this helps you navigate the energies for the week ahead. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. I will be posting a video on the Mercury retrograde in Aries and going over some charts and also getting into all 12 rising signs. I will also be posting the lunar eclipse video forecast very soon. Within the next few days I will be posting both. I've been working on both. So we are entering really big energies. This is a time to be very conscious and self-aware and know and understand what is showing up for you, because we will be in this energy for some time, and this is about reflection and ending karmic cycles. And like I said, it's a transitional period. It is so we can come out the other side cleansed and pure and free of karmic attachments.